Log recording. It's 3:06 in the morning. I'm not even alive or awake yet, and my body wants to go back to bed again. It's June 1st, 2023. We were down in City Roseman, California. Yeah. Fat shaming. I was trying to get into the personal shit over here, and unfortunately, memories concerning about my own family's situation regarding fat shaming. My brother wasn't into it because when he was a lot younger and alive, he was actually able to get around, even despite the fact he still had back injuries and knee injuries. He was still able to get around as much. And he didn't look like he needed it. Shit, I was getting more sedentary with certain jobs. So yeah, I started to increase it. But my ma, holy Lord Almighty. And this is the reason why I kept saying that grieving has a situation on people. This is why I keep talking about things like this because it does affect you. It affects you more than one way. I had seen how grieving could put a person into a grave. I'd seen how being depressed can chalk up weight like crazy. I had seen people in different weight loss programs that I'd witnessed having those kind of issues that they were still trying to deal with. And sometimes they were still physically not able to get around as much to take care of the girth. Now, for me, I am not considering just yet a wheelchair. I'm not. I'm not going that path. I still got mobility in my damn legs. I still got to move. I still take care of a little girl. I still take my dog out for a walk when I can, even if it's late at night or coming up and early in the morning. Or if I have to go to a bus stop, I'll have to walk the damn thing. And I may be tired as hell, but I take several stops, take several breaks, get some water, and move on. I carry a bottle with me when I go outside. I make sure it's filled with cold water because if I'm caught in the heat, I want to make sure that I'm not going to faint. I'll have cold water with me to keep reviving me left and right. And if it's early in the morning, well, I will carry a jug of coffee, but I'll also carry some liquids with me in different jugs. So I can carry them with me and get them filled up when I need to. Sometimes I'll have to go to the store and get the liquids there. I have to. If I'm going to be traveling, I want to make sure that I'm going to be well taken care of and well hydrated. Which means I still need to get off my dead ass and get outside and walk a little bit. I hate when I'm fat shamed one way or another, and it makes me embarrassed as hell because now I am not what people want me to be. They get charged an extra money for an airline seat if I'm going to be going on a damn plane. And it's been decades since I've been on one, and I was skinny enough to fit into one seat. These days, I don't even want to get on a damn aircraft. I don't want to be part of a spam in a can. If I'm going to be part of a spam in a can, it's going to be going through places. I'd rather be on a train or a bus. Now, the thing is concerning about the buses, even in the local transits or even with the transit we got coming from like Mojave all the way to Lancaster, the express buses have some adequate room for maybe one or two large people in their bench seats. But then again, you got to get past the people in the center aisle on that one. And their handicap seats are not exactly all that comfortable, but they're fold down benches. They have to have enough room to have the mech chairs coming in there, or scooters, or whatever. They have to have the room for those. So the benches have to be folded up, which makes me stuck going through the aisle trying to find a seat. Even if they got a seat way in the back, right along the back seat of the bus, I'll sit back there. I'm going from one place to another place. It's going to take me about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not going to argue about that one. Or if it's going to be a 2 hour trip to a new college, I'm not going to argue about that one either. But what I will be doing is just sitting and dealing with it. And I'm not the only one who's fat on those buses. I've seen a lot of other large people. elderly people and stuff like that. So it's quite common, unfortunately. I got large people over here, but they also have access to transportation. I'm not talking about just dial a ride either. I'm talking about their own cars that they go into. I've had a few people in some instances keep telling me when I get some exercise. I'm too damn large. I'm too damn fat. Yeah, I am. And I'm also dealing with the stigma that I've had in my head all this damn time. I've seen other people go through the stigma growing up. That you're constantly eating to maintain that girth and that weight. And it still makes me question how much food intake I'm taking per meal. Instead of eating in between meals, smaller meals, that kind of situation, which would be ideal. I still got to get a pallet full of peanuts to do that because I need a roughage, and if I can chew the peanuts, I can use those. Salads, I still need, but they cost a great deal, and they're bitch trying to get out from the liquor store, actually from the grocery stores. And they're charging a lot more over fast food places when they want to give you those same damn shit, same damn salads. You just pick them up over at Albertsons, the local stores. $3 or $4 a salad thing. A bag of spinach about $3 or $4. Mix it in with something else. Maybe some carrots would be nice. Raisins, nuts, seeds, raisins. Did I say raisins? Probably. A little balsamic vinaigrette. Cottage cheese would work too for protein. Hard boiled eggs. Ingredients that I would have to think about maybe 20 bucks, 20 or $30, depending on food prices. And how long would it last compared to how many of the salads I would have to get out of the deli cases? And those damn things are drying up like crazy. I mean, there was ones I saw that it was almost like pure red in those lettuces. I'm like, oh god, there goes my stomach right there, and it damn near made me throw up. So I have to be careful what I'm eating, how I'm eating, and where I'm getting the food from, and how long it's been in the aisles already, in the cases. And if I happen to depend upon Dialer, I actually DoorDash all the time for my shopping, then I'm getting worse and worse in my own damn judgment of food that I will be needing. I have to make the efforts going outside the house and getting the groceries needed. I have to make the efforts on this one. I have to make the efforts of contacting Dial a Ride to get me over there at a certain time, and then they only give me about an hour, hour and a half, if I'm lucky, 2 hours. About an hour, between an hour and a half, getting over there, get the groceries, and come right back. So I have to rush it. I have to have a list in my head or a list in my a piece of paper of saying what I need and what I don't need. I have to keep checking the refrigerator to see how much I've got left room in there. If there's anything else that needs to be replaced in there, liquids, goops, sauces, buns, either hot dog or hamburger. Then it means if I've got enough hamburger buns, I need to get a package of hamburger so I can use them up a bit. A fresh bottle of mustard. Well, you eat your hamburger one way, I'll eat mine a different way. But I'm not the only one eating a hamburger. I'll share it with my mother. I'll fix up maybe 3 patties, 2 for me, or sometimes I'm going to limit to 1 patty, and then the extra patty goes for her. Chop it up real fine, salt it a little bit so she's got some flavor in it. She'll eat it when she's hungry enough. Mix it in with a little chicken soup just to get it some flavor. And I'll do that with the regular chicken. Boil it up, put chicken broth in it. She'll be eating chicken soup. Without the vegetables, of course. asked if she was actually able to eat some vegetables. Some vegetables dogs can't take, like onions and stuff like that. Onions, garlic, any kind of seasonings like that, their system won't be able to handle it. It almost becomes deadly and toxic to them. Nope, not doing that to my mama. I have to limit the human food as much as possible. They say fix your dog chicken and rice. Well, maybe the larger dogs will like it, but a finicky dog, smaller one, an older lady, doesn't. You gotta humor it a little. You gotta humor her a great deal. So you just leave a bowl of dry food down and the water, but I still give her some of the other extra meat when I can. As for myself, yeah, there have been occasions that I wanted to get a package of chips, not a small package, but a larger package with salsa. I can make tortilla chips, not from scratch, but getting some of the corn tortillas and cutting up into quarters and then frying them in hot oil. I can do that. I'm able to do that. I can barely make chicken tenders, but I can do that. I constantly fry potatoes. Well, when you don't have a microwave that works, or actually you don't have a microwave period, and you got a stove that's limited to a burner, you got to make do with what you got. So I make do. I can do mashed potatoes. I have to limit to what the fuel I've got, and I have to make sure that if I'm going to be snacking, I'm going to be drinking things down, like constantly Gatorade and water and milk, just to keep the fluid intake going. Sometimes coffee. It's just because my sleep apnea, my and my and my sleep issues have gotten worse and worse. I have to limit my coffee these days. One of the neighbor's dogs is screaming out again. I don't know what's going on. Well, I gotta take my dog out for a walk, but we've had coyotes. I don't know what's going on. We'll continue this conversation at another time.